Good afternoon. This Committee on Appropriations and Adjudication is now called to order. The notice for this hearing was publicized pursuant to the Open Government Act. And we've received some written testimony from the Judiciary, from the Department of Administration, and from Take Care in writing and Select Care. And Select Care. Take Care and Select Care have all submitted testimony. They're not going to be doing oral testimony. And so maybe I'll have Senator Espaldon if he wants to speak on the bill, and then I'll...
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, thank you for holding this. And bottom line is we introduced 177 along with you. Actually, you were the one who introduced this, and I'm just co-sponsoring, but I know that our offices worked well together on this. And I guess to start, I just want to give kudos to the GovGuam negotiating team for GovGuam Insurance, as well as the insurance companies, to come up with a new plan specifically for GovGuam retirees age 65 and over. And it's a new plan which is, in the bigger picture, if we can get the GovGuam retirees who qualify to roll over into this new plan, it would be a cost savings not only to the retirees and their out-of-pocket expenses in terms of paying their premiums, but it would also have an impact in terms of what the government of Guam would save. And our projections show that if we can get 15% of the government of Guam retirees 65 years and over who have Medicare to roll over into the supplemental health insurance plan, that we would actually be able to save $3 million from the government of Guam side. And of course, if we multiply that forward, if we have 30% of the GovGuam retirees who qualify, roll over into this plan, we stand to save as a government $6 million that we can then use for other areas that are in need. This act in particular supports this new plan. And because this is the first year it's been offered, this bill basically would put $150,000 allocated towards an incentive program. And in essence, it's more to draw attention to the programs. And Mr. Speaker, if I may, the whole concept here is that typically, and I'm guilty of this also, once you're enrolled in a plan, say for example for 1 year, and it's time to renew the plan or to switch plans, a lot of GovGuam employees and maybe even the retirees, they don't really take the time to look at what's available. They just say, we'll just automatically let it go and automatically get re-enrolled in the present plan we have. This incentive program, I think, would help market and reinforce and encourage those who qualify, specifically the GovGuam retirees 65 years and over, who have Medicare Part A and Part B, to take a look at this plan. Because historically, at least with the past several plans, what would happen is that the government Guam retirees who have Medicare, to supplement the Medicare coverage, would then have to elect the government Guam plan, which is usually called the 2000 plan or the 1500 plan. This is a whole new plan that's targeted just for the retirees. And so this money that's appropriated is more of a marketing tool to entice the qualified retirees to take a look at this new plan that is being offered, has been negotiated between the government and the insurance companies. Take a look and try to understand the benefits. Like I said, it will lower the cost, their out-of-pocket cost to the retirees, as well as the cost to the government. And that is the purpose of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator. And I'd just like to read a sponsor statement that was prepared by my office. Bill 177-33 was introduced by myself and Senator James Espaldon as one small step to encouraging eligible retirees to enroll in the new Retiree Supplemental Plan, the RSP, a new plan offered under the Government of Guam Health Insurance Program for eligible retirees over 65 with Medicare. The RSP is offered Class 1 and Class 2 retirees. That's if you're a single person who's 65 and above, or Class 2 if you and your spouse are both 65 and above. It unfortunately does not cover Class 3 where it's one spouse is 65 and the other one is under 65, nor does it cover those who have still have dependents that are covered under their health insurance. And so it's only going to be Class 1 and 2 retirees through each of the government 3 insurance carriers to retirees who are enrolled in both Medicare Parts A and B. In the case of Class 2, both spouses must be enrolled in Medicare A and B. Generally, the retiree supplemental plan pays for the portion of medical expenses that would otherwise be paid by the subscriber under Medicare. These benefits include hospital care, skilled nursing facility care, nursing home care, hospice, and home health service, and services or supplies that are needed to diagnose or treat a medical condition. Benefits offered under the RSP are age appropriate and do not cover persons under the age of 65. The benefits offered under the RSP are generally the same benefits offered under the PPO 1500 plan and or the HSA 2000 plan, the other two options for retirees. We strongly recommend retirees to review the benefits of the RSP and consult with the Government of Guam Retirement Fund and their favorite insurance carrier to see for themselves if this plan suits their needs. While there are many reasons for a retiree to enroll in the RSP, as well as enrollment in Medicare, which are better explained by the Medicare Assistance Program of the Department of Public Health and Social Services and the Benefits section of the Retirement Fund, Bill 177 seeks specifically to reward retirees who enroll in the RSP because by doing so, they are helping to save potentially millions of dollars to the taxpayer. Based on an analysis conducted by my staff using the recent approved insurance premium rates sheet for the upcoming fiscal year and the current retiree enrollment figures, the government autonomous agencies included, could save close to $3 million if just 500 eligible retirees enroll in the RSP. There are currently 3,000 Class 1 and Class 2 retirees subscribing in the Gov Guam health insurance program. So that would be considerable savings if you did all 3,000, but we're hoping to get 1,000, maybe even 1,500 this first year. When comparing actual non-RSP to RSP premiums on an individual subscriber basis, savings of almost 70% could be achieved, as in the case of Calvo Select Care Class 1 enrollees under the PPO 1500 plan, whereby the non-RSP premium is $949.31 versus the RSP rate of $297, a difference of $652.31. Bill 177-31 simply allows the Government of Guam Retirement Fund to allocate up to $150,000 of the money that is already budgeted for Gov Guam retiree health insurance premiums in the upcoming year. The incentive program may be in the form of cash or gift certificate and shall be payable to each individual enrollee in a manner and form as determined by the retirement fund. If the retirement fund chose to, it could reward cash or gift certificates of up to $100 for each of the 1,500 employees who enroll in the RSP. These rewards would come at no additional cost to the government because of the resulting savings. For many years, I've been advocating for the creation of a Gov Guam retiree plan that takes advantage of Medicare because similar government plans throughout the country save millions of dollars to the taxpayer, not just in premiums for retirees, but also for active employees, because Medicare would absorb the greater portion of the insurance risk pool. This is a definite step in the right direction with the overall government insurance program, and I must commend the Government of Guam's health insurance negotiating team and Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio for moving the RSP forward. And I was reminded today by a news reporter that when the Comptroller General, the former Comptroller General, came in and spoke before the Public Auditors Group last month, the one thing that he said was the most expensive thing for a government is not the pension plan, but it is the health benefits for us retirees. And this is the first step, and again, I want to thank our negotiating team and the Lieutenant Governor for approving it. But this hopefully is going to move us in the direction of trying to get 1,500 this year, hopefully, or 3,000 in the upcoming years of retirees onto the RSP, so we can conceivably be saving multiples of $3 million, according to our calculations. So I want to thank Mr. Larson, who submitted written testimony in support of the bill. The judiciary submitted testimony, also Select Care submitted testimony to the Department of Administration. And we'll try to move this as quick as possible, because as was stated by the other testimony that's been provided to the committee, this is a responsible move in trying to, in good self-governance, to try to save the taxpayer millions of dollars by getting people to, eligible retirees to move to the RSP. And I encourage everybody who's 65 or getting close to 65 to go to the Public Health and Social Services, the Medicare section, and speak to them about the benefits and how it would benefit all of us who want to be able to travel in our retirement age, and because it is a portable plan as opposed to some of the other plans that we have to be on Guam for a considerable amount of time. So we're hoping that this will incentivize people to move to RSP, save us money, but more importantly, provide our retirees with age-appropriate medical care, hospice, and nursing care and home care, which a lot of us will be needing in the not too distant future. Don't laugh at me, Michael. It's not polite to laugh at old people. And thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. Anybody want to come and testify? I only had one sign up, but it's just written, not, nobody wants to speak. I promise I'm going to be nice. Okay.
So I meet all the eligibility requirements, and I, in fact, got an extra year there, so I can claim. But so today I actually sat down with one of the representatives from one of the health agencies and explained that basically, I guess, the retiree supplemental plan kind of, I guess, provides that 20% that Medicare does not cover. So if I went in for medical treatment, and Medicare covers it, Medicare will pay for the 80%, and that the RSP will then pay for that 20%. Yes? Okay. I see some hands there. So I understand that part, and that, but the other part that I still kind of was not clear in my mind was that in order to make the decision then as to whether I'm going to subscribe to the RSP or should I go to the HOA, the regular health insurance, seems to need the information of, what are the treatments, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, that Medicare does not cover. So, for example, if I'm really have a bad case of asthma and all that, and Medicare doesn't cover that, the treatments for asthma, then of course I need to stay with the regular medical insurance, HOA or whatever the other ones are. But if Medicare covers that and the kind of illnesses that a lot of folks experience, then fine. I would be willing to go over to Medicare, but not knowing what are those conditions that Medicare does not cover? Seems like, I would need to know that before I can make that decision, because I don't want to, go with this for a premium that's certainly a lot less, but then find out that I'm not covered for certain conditions, and that I need to find out. No, I do know that I've asked somebody from the Medicare folks to come down and explain, so what is it that Medicare will not cover?
Anybody want to speak? It should be clear that in order to be able to go onto the retirement supplemental plan, those of us that are 65 have to, one, sign up for Part A and Part B.
Got it.
We have to be on Part A and Part B. And for those of you that have your 40 quarters, your Part A will be minimal.
Free.
For those of us that have no quarters because we work in government, we would have to pay a premium of a little close to $500, if not more, and then pay for the Part B. It'll be a lot more, but when you take all those numbers into account, the amount that the government would be paying for me to stay on HSA 1500 or PPO 2000. I guess I have it backwards. That the premiums combined would be like 900 and some, but this combination with the retiree supplemental plan would come out less than the 921 that the combined premium would be for me as a single person, and would provide me with the additional coverage of that 20% that the supplement would provide, and also would allow me to travel, to spend time in the States with for my sister or my nieces, or those of you with grandchildren in the States, to be able to travel to do that and be able to take advantage of it. There was one woman at the Manila meeting who stated that she had a hip replacement, and she said that her Medicare plan, and she was able to go to Everett, Washington to be close to her son while she was recuperating. And she claims that her out-of-pocket expense was all of $200 to have a hip replacement. And then this summer she just had her knee replacement, and hasn't gotten the billings yet to see how much her out-of-pocket expense is going to be. But she was very laudatory about the Medicare coverage, which is more age appropriate for those of us in the, it's not going to cover OB, having children. But what we're going to be needing. And so I don't know enough about it, but I know that we have two people here from Medicare, and they're very, very knowledgeable. So just call the Public Health and Social Services Medicare division and speak to them, or go to the retirement fund and talk to the benefits people up there. They will walk you through it and explain how this can be a benefit to all of us that are 65 and above. Okay. Go ahead. Open enrollment ends next next Wednesday the 9th. Unfortunately, it took a long time, but we're trying to move it along. I'm hoping to get the 1,500 people to move over, but knowing how late that this thing is being rolled out and trying to explain to as many people, I'm realistically just looking at about 500 people moving over this year, and hoping that by word of mouth next year we'll be able to get more, and following year even more people to move over, and so that people understand better. Because as Senator Espaldon put it, there are many of us that change is not something that we like. I mean, it just, don't bother me with the details. Just sign me up and we rolled it over because I don't want to have to try to read all that and try to understand it. Yeah, we're going to need to go and speak to the Medicare people and the benefits people at public health. At retirement.
If I could just add, Mr. Chairman, my understanding of what was negotiated for the this new supplemental retirement plan really does cover a lot of the holes that Medicare may not cover. And so a lot of the benefits are pretty much in line with what's in the 1500 and the 2000 plan, but more catered, much like you mentioned, towards this age group of 65 and over. For example, there's probably many in that age group who have no interest in joining a gym and have gym memberships. They're more interested in basically making sure they have the coverage for their age-appropriate disabilities or illnesses that they might come across as they continue to age. And in that note, I would definitely, we thank the negotiating team on behalf, who negotiated on behalf of GovQuam, but I also definitely want to thank the insurance companies, in particular the three that we have right now, which is Take Care, who's been at the table, along with Netcare and of course Select Care. And I think they need to be thanked for being a good, responsible corporate citizen for our island, and I thank them as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I have a quick question. For those retirees who are already in Medicare A and B, but they're living off island, would they be able to take advantage of the supplemental?
That's going to have to be taken up at a later date, because right now, that is the problem. I've been threatening a class action suit to address that, because so many people move off island and have to continue to work because they don't have health insurance. That was one reason why I didn't retire, because I can't take my health insurance with me. And so hopefully with this, you'll finally get rid of me. No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
I'm still a little confused about the timing of this, because this bill, if it's enacted into public law, has to do with the current Budget Act. So unless there's some provision for payment and incentive payment to be made, assuming this goes into session and is passed after the fact, right, after October 1st, there has to be some provision for a reward or, some sort of a... Is that built into
There
this?
is. The underlying portion says that of the amount that the $21 million that's been appropriated for the health insurance premiums, $150,000 shall be set aside for the retirement fund to determine how to be able to incentivize it. So we already appropriated.
Yeah, well, because then it's not quite an incentive. It's some sort of a...
Mr. Chair,
It's not an incentive in the true sense of an incentive, because it's after the fact, as opposed to, you're not speaking about it prior to them electing the
Mr. Chair,
insurance.
if I may,
it's after the fact. I'm just, it's just in
No,
terms
and
of
that has been a
timing,
concern
it's
that has
still-
been raised, but unfortunate because of just because this is the very first time it's been rolled out, and we were trying to figure out how we can help. The way I believe this would eventually come into play is that, at the end of the next fiscal year, right before the next enrollment takes place, that's when the incentives will be handed out to those who have moved over. At this point, though, just by introducing the bill, it does create the awareness. There is conversation going on. It's been on talk radio. It's been in the newspaper today. There were some interviews on KUM and other media who came into my office. So it's basically the word getting out there. On top of it, now we also have the GovGuam Retirement Fund talking to its members and sending out their notices about the viability of this program. So even though it seems like it's a little bit late, it does at least create the talk and the awareness of this program, this very new program. And again, going forward, we hope that if we can get, that's why we're saying that if we can even just get 15% of those who are eligible to qualify based upon just some of this information that's being talked about now, we can achieve a $3 million savings in this first year. And hopefully we can go forward the next year as more buzz is created to further expand that pool of people who will then transfer over to this new supplemental plan. So even though and in the end, even if this bill does not pass, the supplemental plan is being offered right now. So again, we might be a little late in terms of moving this into law, but it does create the awareness right now. And even though we have a very short window of opportunity, people are talking about it. And like I said, we hope that we can move at least out of the 3,000 plus eligible retirees. If we can move 15% or 500 people over, right, that would create a significant savings. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Again, I want to thank those of you that came out today, those of you that submitted written testimony, and we'll discuss this a little further and try to move it into the next section. Thank you very much to the public for listening. Again, call Public Health and Social Services Medicare Division and discuss with them the benefits, or just go to the retirement fund and discuss it with the benefits representative there. And or I guess when we were doing the presentations, I guess the insurance companies can also explain the benefits of this program. Thank you very much, and we stand adjourned.